the players will be pleased to hear that it won't be a hard week. I think because of the work's been done, we're not going to relax, but because we've just played 45 matches, we've got to be a little bit careful with them. We're looking to finish off the season well. We'd love to win here against Shrewsbury on Saturday, get 55 points, and then it'll be it'd be a nice finish. And hopefully we learn from maybe some of the mistakes that we've made in the season. But overall, the players deserve their Monday off. We had a difficult game against Preston. They're a very good team, as they showed to everybody. But we're desperate to finish off the season well here.
Is there any chance that it could fizzle out? I mean, Shrewsbury, unfortunately, are relegated. Your own club's position is safe.
Yeah.
I mean, is there any danger in that? Would you let that happen?
No, because I think that our season hasn't been good enough, and in my programme notes I've said to supporters that it's been a very frustrating season for everybody, especially the supporters. So I'd like us to play with a little bit more freedom on Saturday and play well. Of course, Shrewsbury could be in the same situation. That their season is all finished now. They know exactly what's happening, and so I'm sure there's players there that are out of contract that will be trying extremely hard to win a contract with their club, and so we've got to make sure that we do it right, and I think that we owe that to our supporters. Hopefully there'll be a nice atmosphere here on Saturday because we're safe. That was the target, and we are safe, so that's good. Division 1 football next season here. But we'd like to finish off. I'd like to finish off in a very positive performance that the crowd can say, "Well, hang on a minute, it was a disappointing season, but they ain't that bad."
Yeah, and I mean, it could be worse. You only have to look at Shrewsbury. They finished bottom. The year before, they'd survived having been promoted, so it shows it's not difficult. It's difficult even in the second season, isn't it?
It is. No, there's as I say, I think the most important thing that we do from this season is learn from it and take things on board and improve on it. We don't want to have the same type of season next season as we've just had, and because it's not good enough. And in the end, it's not a great feeling every Saturday because you're not sure how the team are going to play. The supporters are not sure. They get edgy, and when they get edgy, they probably let their feelings know a little bit. So we've got to learn from it, and we've got to take things on board, and I'm sure we will.
You mentioned the supporters. There was, don't know whether you're aware, a few supporters that perhaps weren't happy with you on Saturday and maybe voiced their concerns or their opinions quite vocally. What do you make of that, having achieved the number one goal here?
Extremely frustrating because I think that I've come in after 11 matches with 9 points. I think that the team had 2 wins, and the whole job at that particular time, I think, was to try and raise a group of players that were a little bit down at the time, and to try and get enough results to stay in the division. And I think that's been mission accomplished, and so and I did hear, I kept saying to myself, I heard a few things on Saturday which I was very, very disappointed with. I can't show my feelings to them because I'm hoping it's just a minority of supporters that think they're supporting the team by doing that, by having a go at the manager, but they're not really, and so it is disappointing to hear. It won't make any difference to the way that I work. I certainly won't change certain things because I hear people having a pop at the manager, but it's disappointing because I thought we were all in it together. We're all working extremely hard to get the same result, and we got the result, and we got the enough points to stay in the division, and that was the aim. So disappointing, but unfortunately you have to put up with things like that.
And can you explain how hard a task it is coming into a football club that have been successful, that things weren't going right, that it was looking like it was going the wrong way, and to come into a group of players that you didn't know necessarily and played a different style, you had to implement your own sort of style. It was difficult, wasn't it?
I think it's difficult for the manager, and I think it's difficult for the players. I think all of a sudden the players have got to get used to somebody different as well, and so I think it's not. That's why a lot of chairmen in around the country don't like change, because unfortunately a change is always a manager coming in that doesn't agree with the previous manager or doesn't have exactly the same thoughts on football. So there's always going to be slight change there. So it's definitely not an ideal situation, but in the end, I think that with with some results that then picked the players up, so that the spirit got even stronger. As I say, it certainly wasn't an easy situation to take over. And then in the end, you go to the chairman and you try and get loans, and loans are not an ideal situation. And you have to take a little bit more of a gamble. You know, if it's a longer term signing, you can take your time and get it right. You know, but when it's a loan because of the situation the club's in, that don't always work out. But that's what you have to do.
I think you hinted at that the loan situation might not necessarily be the right move. I think Shrewsbury had 20 loans this year. It's not always the answer, is it?
It's not the answer, but clubs of our size, in the end, you can't then get too many permanent players, and in the end, you don't have the big enough squad. So then you get injuries. So then you're forced then to try to go to the loan market. It's not an idea. Some work out fantastically, but some don't. And but normally the ones that you get for a month or two is more difficult for the player, and 9 times out of 10 it doesn't work out right, because the ones you get short term are probably not match fit when they get here, and then the time they leave you, they're match fit. So the club they've just come from are probably done the business right.
Okay. Can we expect any surprises in the team? I'm not expecting you to tell me, but in the team coming this Saturday with promotion secured? Safety.
Yeah, safety secured. Well, yeah, it does seem like a promotion at times, but no, I think I am thinking about putting in 1 or 2 youngsters. I am. But I still want to win the match, so I'm not going to do that just for the reason that it might cheer a few supporters up and whatever. I want to win the football match. I want to get to 55 points, and then we can say, we'll probably move up a place maybe, if that's the case. But if we get to 55 points, then it's not a then bad return from having 9 from when from October onwards. But I am, Aaron Milbank is a player that I'm thinking about involving, because I've said last week that he's really impressed me, and I wouldn't mind giving him a bit of a few minutes on the pitch.
I see. And lastly, could this be your last match in charge at Gillingham?
Could
Do
be.
you know any further?
Yeah. No, could be. And but if it is, then I can say that I've enjoyed the majority of it. There's certain Saturday nights that I haven't enjoyed, I can promise you. But overall, I'm over the moon with the end product, because we've stayed up. And the one thing I was nervous when I first got here was, if the lads don't pick themselves up, we could end up being, we could end up getting relegated. So I'm really pleased that the players showed great togetherness and great spirit amongst themselves, and we got enough points to stay up. So if it is, then I can go and leave with my head held really high, because to me, staying up was the most important thing.